Welcome guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, the day after review show today for another disappointing result, performance, everything against Venezia. A game like we should be winning, even considering we are in a bad patch of form, and we know these results can happen, will happen, and will still happen going forward. We should be winning that game. We'll get into it. We'll get into Allegri's kind of weird comments. But as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, especially now, because we're giving away a jersey. As you can see in the bar, in the news bar, basically, we're giving away an official Juve jersey. You just need to go on Twitter and you can see the pinned message, retweet that, tag a friend, and subscribe to the channel. And we will give that away probably around the 21st or something. So you're gonna get that after Christmas, but that's the only option we have at the moment. But the winner is gonna get that. So yeah, let's get into it. Venezia. Basically everything we talked about in the preview, everything you guys say in the live chat and the comments, what's going around, happened. We struggle. Again, the first half, it was okay. The first half, we were going forward. Excuse me. It wasn't amazing by all stretch of the imagination. It wasn't amazing, but we were in total control. Like not the only bad thing, but the main bad thing in the first half was that we were only up 1-0. We should be up 2-0 at least, and that will be game, because Venezia are very poor. Then we come out in the second half and we decide to just sit back. And I don't know what the game plan was. It was basically sit back and hit Venezia on the break. And on the break, we are awful. We know that. We're just awful. On the break, we're not good enough. We make so many bad decisions. You can pick out so many decisions we make on the ball going forward. Cuadrado holding on to it way too long. Rabiot misplacing passes. Morata diving so many times. The moment he feels something, he dives. Bernardeschi having no footballing brain and forgetting he's playing with 10 other players and decides to just take on so many players and lose the ball. It goes on and on and on. And we concede, and we should be conceding. We deserve that. That's what you get when you play like that, because this team is not strong enough. It isn't. Mentally, technically, it's just not good enough. And that's on coaching, that you're going to sit back. That's just on coaching, solely on coaching. That you cannot play out from the back, that you cannot string 20 passes together. That's quality also. But if you just look at some of these players, like you all have seen the clips if you're on social media from Rabiot trying to play a simple 2-meter pass and he hits it out of the stadium down into the river. It's still, I don't know where it's going. Like, it's insane. The quality of this team at times, not at times, most of the time, it's just embarrassing low. But it should be still good enough to beat Venezia away from home. Like, we dropped points against Empoli, Sassuolo, Verona, Udinese, Venezia. Like, I mean, we are a mid-table team. And that's what we are. And that's where we should be. So, yeah. It could be 10 points by now. Or by when you're watching the video, we could be 10 points off top 4. And that's that. That's the end of the season. It's done. You're not going to make up 10 points. If it's 10 points to Atalanta, they're not going to lose 10 points and we are going on a mad winning streak. It's not going to happen. Like, come on. Don't do that to yourself. It's just not good enough. And Allegri needs to take a lot of the blame. We all blame the players, as we should, because they're not good enough. But some of the decisions Allegri is making and some of the chances the same players over and over again, it's insane. Like, it's not unheard of, but it's kind of unheard of. Like, I've never seen anything like that. I can see my camera is glitching. Stay with me. It will appear. It will soon. It's just a technical difficulties. Some technical difficulties. But we'll go into Allegri's comments now. But like we said it so many times, like these are the games you should be winning. Like, you should be winning these games. These games shouldn't be any problem. We said it, like in December, you need to pick up the points. We are not picking up the points. That's on coaching. Because like you need to beat these teams. I'm sorry, you just need to beat Venezia. Like if you don't beat Venezia, then what are we even doing? Like what are we even doing? So that being said, let's go into Allegri's comments. The first thing he said was the boys played. That's a mistake. Played a good first half. We created. We shot on goal. We had a blackout for 10 to 15 minutes until the Venezia goal. But we had the same thing as Salerno. And Salerno, we were lucky because they hit the post. And tonight they scored. That's kind of insane because he knows it can happen. And he still decides to just sit back. Like, I think he's just bantering us. Like he knows it can happen. And he still does it. Like, how does that make sense? It doesn't make sense, but he keeps doing that. So that's coaching. That's just coaching. Simple as that. Like, he decides to just sit back. Blackout. You can talk about a blackout, but you're sitting back. You're not going to tell me that Venezia or Salernitana can push you back for 10 to 15 minutes without you being able to do anything about it. Like, you're playing Venezia and Salernitana. You're not playing Inter. You're not playing Chelsea. So then he said, after the goal, we had the patience to widen the game, to play. We made a lot of crosses. We were a bit imprecise, in the area. But I think we wasted 2 points against a good Venezia side. The only thing true about this is we wasted 2 points. After the goal, we weren't patient at all. Like, we weren't. We made a lot of crosses. Like, okay, to who? For what? Like, is that the football you want to play? Just cross and hope somebody gets to the end of it and save you the game? That's basically what he's saying now. That's what he's saying. And then he said we were a bit imprecise in the area. We are imprecise since August. So, I don't know. Again, the truth is we wasted 2 points. Venezia was not good. Against a good Venezia side, they weren't good. I'm sorry. We made them look kind of decent, but they're not a good team. They're not. So he can say that, and if he believes that, that's worrying. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna go with it. So yeah, we can move on. Then he was asked, improving, it depends on a lot of things that we have. Okay, this is insane. He said, improving, he was asked, how can you improve? And he says, it depends on a lot of things. That we have less experienced players at certain times, especially in parts of the games, because we had Caio playing, then Sule came in, even though we were only at 1-1. So, that Caio hasn't played much is his fault. That Caio came on is his fault. He could have brought on Keane if he thinks Caio is not ready. So, that's all on him once again. And then he said, Sule came in only, even though we were only at 1-1. So, he's trying to say it was 1-1 and I brought, like, we needed to win game and I needed to bring on Sule. Just unknown, unproven Sule. That's what he's trying to do. He's like saying, look at what I have, what I need to work with. That's what he's saying. And that's kind of insane, but I would have brought on Sule 20 minutes earlier because Bernardeschi is useless. Like he is. He will never create anything when you need him. Caio was just playing. Morata, if he doesn't have service, there's nothing. Cuadrado, hit and miss this season. So I don't know what he's saying here, but it's very worrying. Like, if you just sit back and read that quote, it's very worrying because he is kind of delusional at the moment. He's saying things. So he's blaming himself basically without blaming himself. So he's blaming himself, but he thinks he has no, part of it. Like he thinks he did nothing wrong. That's what he's saying. And then he was asked fourth place and they said, you don't have to think about it. Today we threw away 2 points that we had to bring them home. I mean, he just could have said it's done. Like, don't lie. Just say it's done. I mean, I know he's not going to say it, but I hope he understands it's done and that he just needs to try something new for the coming seasons because it's not happening. Like, we can string 4 wins together, 3, and then we fall again. How do you expect to catch up with Atalanta? They will do the same. They win 4, they lose 1, we lose 1. Like, it's not going to happen. And then we move on to Dybala. So, Dybala injured once again. I said it. I would not give him 10 million euros because he's injured all the time. The last 2 seasons, it's crazy. Like, he plays 3 games, he's out for 3 games. So, is that a guy you want to give 10 million euros and be quote unquote the future of the club? I wouldn't. Like, I would be very worrying. That would be very worrying if that's the case. I think it's gonna happen because otherwise he's gonna leave him free, and we need to replace him. Again, I've always said you can replace Dybala. Like, he's not generational. You can replace Dybala. He's a good player, but he's not unreplaceable. But the problem is we have so many holes and so many issues. We don't have the money. We don't have the funds to replace him also. That's why the club is thinking about giving Bernardeschi a new deal, which is kind of insane. It's another waste of money. But yeah, he said, I'm worried about Dybala. Unfortunately, we took a risk and now we will see what he has. Dybala had a fatigue on Wednesday, remember? He stayed in the locker room in the first half. And he said he seems to be fine during the week, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. I saw many people blame Allegri and the doctors. It's Dybala. He's just fragile. Like, just say how it is. He's very fragile at the moment. Since that Lyon game when he came on under Sarri for like, he shouldn't be coming on. They pushed him on ever since. It's just injury after injury after injury after injury. And like, are we paying 10 million euros for someone who is not on the field most of the time, basically? Maybe exaggeration. It's exaggerating at the moment, but he's injured in crucial times. So yeah, it doesn't like, to me it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, that's something the club needs to think about. It. What are they going to do? Let me know in the comments. Will you give Dybala 10 million euros, or do you prefer to even lose him on a free, or just give him the 10 million euros based on not losing him on a free? Because the injuries are very worrying. Like, they are. Especially if you're going to give someone so much money, you're not going to bench him. Like, he needs to play. But if he's not ready to play, then you're just keeping a 10 million euros a season player in J Medical or on the bench because he's not fit. And he's 28. How is it going to be when he's 30, 31, 32? Like, that's something the club really needs to think about. So let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's not good enough. It's just not good enough. And we all know this is going to be the season. It's going to be like this until the end of the season. I said it before, I think it's done. Top 4. I don't want Europa League because it's another distraction for next season in a competition it's kind of awful to play in. No disrespect, but I think it's going to be more of a distraction. I don't want to give up. I know people say you're negative, but like, look at how many times have we been here? We won 3 and then we lose points against an awful team. That's not a recipe to get top 4 or to even kind of compete in some competitions. That's not a good recipe because like, we can lose or drop points against anyone at any given time. So yeah, and above all, you can see what's happening on the field. Like, there's no tactics, there's nothing. The players, a lot of them are not good enough. You can see what's happening. Decision makings, in-game decision makings, what basically was Allegri's main, how do you want to call it? His main standout attribute. Like, his in-game management decision makings were always spot on. That what made him a top coach at the time. Like, his in-game decision-making tweaks were amazing. Now they look horrendous. Like, they look clueless. And they don't make sense even when after in a press conference when he tries to explain them. With Cuadrado taking him off and playing crossing, but he played him on the left at times. I was like, it doesn't even make sense what you're saying or what you're trying to do. It's very, how you want to call it, desperate. It seems desperate, everything he's doing. So, yeah. For me, it's done. I mean, in terms of top 4, I don't think we're going to get it. Let's see what's going to change in January. I don't think much because we need so much. You're not going to change that in January. Like, the mentality in the team is also piss poor. So that's not going to change in 1 month, or not even 1 month, in a few weeks. So yeah, that's that. Depressing video. But it's depressing football. So yeah. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one.